What's up, guys? This is VinylicPuma, back with another Borderlands 3 Top 10 style video for you guys, and today I wanted to go over what I think are some of the better designed or simply just more fun side quests that you can do in Borderlands 3. Now, just to make the distinction, this video is primarily going to be focusing on the quality of the side quests themselves, rather than the side mission gear you can receive for completing some of these quests. Because of this video will include some side quests that actually give you fairly lousy stuff, and this is of course because we're basing this on the actual quest itself. With this in mind, it should go without saying, but this video will be partially subjective. However, and despite that, I think you'll agree the crop of side quests that I've picked here are entertaining and worth taking the time to do. And of course, definitely be sure to smash like on this video if your favorite side quest made it onto this list. And if it didn't, well, let me know what your favorite side quest is in the comments section below. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead here and start by discussing our number 10 entry, which is going to be the Dynasty Diner chain of side quests. So this is a group of side quests that involves Lorelei initially, and then eventually involves the owner of the Dynasty Diner on Promethea. For the first quest, which is Rise and Grind, you have to simply get some coffee for Lorelei and her Atlas commandos. For Dynasty Diner, you have to help reopen the Dynasty Diner burger shop on Promethea, and then once you've done that, you could start the Dynasty Dash side quests that become available on Eden 6 and Pandora. The first two quests here, which are Rise and Grind and Dynasty Diner, provide the player with two unique items which are of varying quality, while the Dynasty Dash quests are repeatable and can be used as a nearly endless source of quest reward experience. So you can go ahead and do both of the Dynasty Dash side quests over and over, and the best part is that you don't even have to complete the quests within the time limit. All you have to do is complete the quest and you get some more XP. All in all, I'd say the prerequisite quests, Rise and Grind and Dynasty Diner, are relatively entertaining, and the Dynasty Dashes can be a lot of fun if you really like driving quests. So be sure to check these out if you haven't checked them out already. Number 9. HOMEOPATHLOGICAL. There's something charming about a quest that makes fun of therapists to some degree. In fact, I'm kind of surprised at some of the detail that went into this quest, particularly when it comes to complying with the request to lie down on the sofa. Upon receiving this quest, you'll be prompted to head to a certain location nearby in Desolation's Edge. Upon arriving and fending off the threats outside, the therapist bot will invite you in and will attempt to diagnose and figure out what he sees as being wrong with you. Towards the very end of this quest, you'll be given a choice, which you'll have to figure out on your own. However, and usually upon completion, you'll get a weapon called the Amber Management, which has this cool Rorschach-style skin on it. It also deals increased damage based on how many enemies you defeated, while mode switching can release all of the anger and allow yourself to heal. And in that sense, I guess you could say that this gun is therapeutic. In my mind, the HOMEOPATHLOGICAL quest is a good one and is one of the more interesting ones on offer in Borderlands 3's base game. So if you're bored and you want something to do, I would recommend you check this quest out. Number 8. The Rumble in the Jungle. Not to be confused with a certain rumble involving two great boxers, this side quest is possibly one of the longer side quests in Borderlands 3, and basically takes up half of the Voracious Canopy map on Eden 6. Story-wise, what happened here is that some scientists mutated jabbers to be more intelligent, and as a result, they overthrew the human scientists and established their own little city in the Voracious Canopy. During the mission, you're tasked to help FailureBot find the lost scientists and resolve things between the jabbers and another entity once and for all through a sort of rumble in the jungle. As mentioned previously, this is an impressively long side quest, and for the sake of comparison, where it might take you about 5 to 12 minutes to complete most of the side quests here, this one will end up taking at least half an hour. Sadly, there's no quest reward, but I think you'll agree the quest itself is pretty interesting. So if you're looking for a side quest to do, I would highly recommend this one. Number 7. Swamp Bro. Despite the fact that Vaughn calls you a bro throughout the entire game, you may be interested to know that he's not even involved with this particular quest. Instead, you get to interact with a minor NPC by the name of Chad, and during this quest, you basically do a bunch of crazy stuff. So whether it be you fighting Saurians, jumping from high places, or whatever else you could think of, this quest allows you to follow Chad and help him through some of the mortal injuries that he encounters as a result. The quest also has a funny conclusion, which I won't necessarily spoil for you here. You're just going to have to play through the quest in order to discover it. What also makes this quest cool is that unlike some of the other side quests on this list that award fairly lousy quest rewards, the Swamp Bro quest actually awards a pretty good one. The Extreme Hangin' Chad is a COV pistol that does not break and therefore will fire an infinite amount of bullets. So even if you're not particularly crazy about the story elements of this particular quest, you'll at least get a nice reward for doing it. So in my opinion, Swamp Bro is a pretty great side quest and you really should take the time to do it. Whether it be for the quest reward as I've just gone over, or just for the silly things that occur during the quest, I think you'll agree that it was all worth it. Number 6. Head Case. So, Head Case is a pretty cool side quest that's one of the earlier ones in the game you can do. All you have to do is beat Mouthpiece, and just as you're leaving his arena, you can turn left and head into a small room that contains a head in a jar. You then follow the prompts, and it pretty much just goes from there. What I like about this quest is that you're entering a virtual world to help save one of Vaughn's clan members named Vic. As a result, and for a significant portion of this quest, a blue screen door type of effect will cover your screen, and then from there, you'll have to traverse the area leading up to the Holy Broadcast Center in Ascension's Bluff to find Vic. Without spoiling too much, this quest has a weird ending that will make you question which Vic is the real one. Also, and upon completion, you'll receive the Brashy's Dedication Sniper Rifle, which admittedly is one of the weaker unique quest rewards you can get. However, if you don't really care about that and just want to experience an interesting side quest, I'd say Head Case is definitely one you should try. So again, be sure to head to Ascension Bluff if you're interested. Number 5. RATCH'D Up. Given the name and in retrospect, I think it's fair to say that this side quest is pretty f***ed up. For those that have not experienced it, RATCH'D Up is a delightfully bizarre side quest you can undertake in Atlas HQ on Promethea. Upon taking the quest, you'll be directed by Reese to visit Terry's office, where from here, you'll discover the Skunkworks labs, which just so happen to be infested by Ratch. Without spoiling too much, you'll fight a lot of Ratch-type enemies during this quest in an attempt to help some of the remaining scientists that are working in the lab with a particular problem. Upon completion of this quest, you do get the Peacemonger, which is a pretty lousy and potentially terrible weapon depending on your distance to and from enemies. However, and despite the somewhat lousy reward, I do think the RATCH'D Up side quest is one of the more interesting and memorable side quests in Borderlands 3. The whole quest is kind of bizarre, and it's at least worth experiencing once if you have not done so already. Number 4. Sellout. If you've played Borderlands 2, there's a good chance that you're familiar with the Kill Yourself quest, which is where you're asked by Handsome Jack to, well, kill yourself. You can either go through with the request and Handsome Jack will heckle you, or you can refuse the request and Handsome Jack will get upset and berate you for a little bit. The Sellout side quest is basically Borderlands 3's version of this same quest, except rather than dealing with Handsome Jack, you're now dealing with Tyreen. And rather than refusing to jump off a cliff or not, you can either choose to enter the death chamber and kill yourself, or you can shoot the 5 or so cameras around the death chamber, thus refusing Tyreen's request. On top of that, and if you decide to kill yourself and sell out, you get a very powerful legendary of the same name, which I would argue is why this quest is superior to the original one from Borderlands 2, where you didn't really receive anything either way. Ultimately, I really like how this quest iterates on and does the original Kill Yourself side quest better. Obviously, it's not particularly complex or whatever, but it's nice to see something like this return in the current game, but new and improved. Number 3. Life of the Party. This is a quest that's unlocked once you've managed to help Brick, Mordecai, and Tina capture Boomtown during the Boom Boom Boomtown side quest in Devil's Razor. Life of the Party involves attending a birthday party for what was presumably one of Mordecai's protégés, which was a woman by the name of Grace. Upon arriving at the location, you discover that Grace is dead, and her father is holding a birthday party for her in her honor. You get invited to this birthday party, and from there, you're challenged to try and beat many of Grace's records. Now obviously, completing and utterly destroying Grace's records is pretty mean, but if you want, the game does let you do it. Because of this could be a fun quest to revisit, provided you've completed already, just to get the different reactions from Grace's father and Mordecai when you do good or ill. However, and in my experience, you do get the amazing Grace, which is supposedly Grace's weapon for either being very polite or being extremely rude. So I guess depending on your personality, go ahead and pick one of these routes to take and you'll get the gun either way. I do really like this side quest, and I think it's one of the more interesting choice-based side quests in the game. It would have been cool if the reward was totally different depending on your actions, but still, I think it's a fun quest and is definitely worth experiencing if you're in the area. Number 2. The PORTA Prison. While this side quest can potentially be missed since it's located in Lecter City, I definitely do think it's one of the better ones in Borderlands 3. Even if it's a little crude. During this quest, you'll come across an occupied porta potty with someone stuck inside. Throughout the quest, you're going to be performing various tasks to get him out, all of which humorously fail. As you might imagine, the NPC inside the unit gets more and more upset until a twist occurs, which is pretty silly. Even if you're not the biggest fan of crude humor like this, I think you'll agree this quest is pretty entertaining. And failing that, you'll at least get access to the Porta Pooper 5000 launcher, which is a fairly respectable COV launcher that you can get. It's actually fairly strong in normal mode, and it takes a lot of shots for it to break. So if you're worried about constant repairing or reloading, it's not going to be a problem with this weapon. If you ask me, this is a side quest that I have to admit is one of the more entertaining ones in Borderlands 3's base game. It's just such a bizarre situation to be stuck in a porta potty, and I think this is what makes this side quest so memorable. And for our final entry, number 1, the CLAPLIST missions. The CLAPLIST missions are a collection of side quests given by Claptrap that are a reference to something that he said in Borderlands 2, but was never really followed up on in any of that game's DLC. But I'll let Claptrap explain it for you.
You will have to perform a series of devious challenges. First, collect a few brown rocks for me. Then, defeat a badass skag. Then, pilfer the lost staff of Mount Schuler. Then, you shall bring me the head of the Destroyer of Worlds. And then, you shall dance for my enjoyment.
In Borderlands 3, there are several side quests that reference this list from Claptrap. In particular, Raiders of the Lost Rock has you acquiring 139,377 brown rocks. ECHONET Neutrality has the player taking on the Lord of SKAGS and UG-THAK, while Healers and Dealers makes a few interesting references to a staff of Mount Schuler. And of course, once you finally beat the game, you could take on a final side quest called Baby Dancer, which basically helps you round out the entire clap list. Honestly, it's really cool this made it into Borderlands 3, and I'm sure plenty of Borderlands 2 fans will appreciate this, as I definitely did. And if you're really into unique weapons, you will get something for completing each of these quests, so it's definitely worth taking the time to do these quests if you get the opportunity. Otherwise, guys, I think that's going to wrap up this particular video. If you enjoyed this video, definitely be sure to smash like, click the bell so you can be notified when I upload my next Borderlands video, and as always, and again, thank you all so much for supporting this channel. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.